Welcome to Women, Wealth, and Entrepreneurship Podcast with Ariel Shaw, MBA. We want to increase your bottom line and create generational wealth that lasts way beyond you. It's 2025 and we are in season 6. Wow, how exciting! This is the year of focus and continued expansion. Our 2025 media participants include Sylvia Dennis Ray of Sylvia the Advocate, Micah Johnson of Micah Johnson State Farm Insurance Agency, Shamika Davis of JTS Vacations LLC, and Laquita Brooks of the Motivational Maven. We are excited about your future. Thank you again for joining Women, Wealth, and Entrepreneurship Podcast with Ariel Shaw, founder and president of Southern Crescent Women in Business.
Hi, I am Ariel Shaw, founder and president of Southern Crescent Women in Business and our affiliate, Southern Crescent Men in Business. And this is our podcast, our world and global podcast, Women, Wealth, and Entrepreneurship. We have the honor of talking with the Honorable Mayor Anthony Ford, who has graced our magazine cover and our men's leadership edition. And I think he is the second male to have ever appeared on our podcast. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Ariel. Appreciate it. To be here present for the broadcast as well. So I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the invite.
So, I started off saying that you were able to grace our cover with Southern Crescent Men, the leadership edition. I believe it was that fall of 2024.
Yeah, just last year. Absolutely.
Yeah. So how did that feel to be on a magazine cover?
Well, it felt real good, actually, because it's never happened to me before, actually, that I know of. So that's fantastic. I appreciate the offer and the opportunity to do that, to grace the magazine. And I have several copies. And I've actually signed some copies as well, so I feel kind of good about that. So, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, though. I really appreciate the opportunity to highlight what's going on in my life and what's going on in the life and times of the City of Stockbridge in this aspect as well.
Absolutely. So that magazine was called the Leadership Edition because you're not necessarily a man in business, but we wanted to make sure we made space for those that are leading our communities. So you do serve currently as the mayor of the City of Stockbridge, Georgia. Tell everybody about the City of Stockbridge.
Well, actually, the City of Stockbridge is up and coming, growing, without a doubt. It's about 105 years old, but I don't look that old, by the way. But what it amounts to, though, I happen to be the first African-American mayor of the city, and I'm completing my second 4-year term, and I'm actually up for re-election for another 4-year term, but I've been elected official for 12 years thus far. And we're growing and we're expanding, and a lot of good things are happening with our city. And we happen to be the largest city in Henry County, a large city of 4, about 36,000 residents, and this aspect as well. So it's coming up. And matter of fact, we're going to continue to grow and expand. A lot of great things are happening.
Absolutely. So the first African-American male mayor in the city. How does that feel?
Well, it's great. It feels good. It's just that I honestly didn't, I'm not originally from Georgia.
Right.
I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm a retired Army officer, which actually got me here to the state of Georgia itself. A good 21 years or so ago, I got transferred here to Fort McPherson from Fort Lewis, Washington. And then I retired from the Army 15 years ago, and obviously I settled in Stockbridge. And so this is my home now. But I had no idea when I retired 15 years ago that I would be doing what I'm doing now as a public official for my community. It just happened to occur, and one thing led to another. But I think this is just the way the good Lord wanted me to continue to serve my community and serve out and do things in the rest of my life. So it's fantastic.
So you were a full
colonel? Not full 06, full colonel.
Now, how did that leadership serving your country prepare you to lead the City of Stockbridge?
Well, it gave me a sense of, patience in a sense, and to analyze and look at things in a sense, to make good logical type of decisions. I try to make decisions in my day-to-day life, in my personal life as well as what's happening with Stockbridge, logical decisions on what's going on, and think things through thoroughly, and try to look at the bigger picture. I also had to realize that I come by this serving in this capacity, it's such as that the good Lord led me down this path because I was a student government president in my high school, my senior year in high school in St. Louis, Missouri, and then I served also in leadership positions in my college in that aspect as well. And then, of course, I went into military serving your country. So I've had this type of service type heart, I guess you may say, for my life, all my life, and it just so happens that. Being of service in Stockbridge and being a mayor. Initially, I was just a council member, but now being a mayor, I look at the fact that it's truly a blessing from the good Lord because it's not about money. I do get paid, but it's not a whole lot of money, and so it's not about money. It's about service to the community. And I look at the fact that if I do, it's kind of selfish. If I do good in the community, I do good for myself as well because I live in the community. So it's all kind of working together. So I just want to be of service to now and to the rest of my given days in this world.
Yeah, and so, you mentioned it's not about money because, most people, first of all, the city of Stockbridge, are you considered a full-time mayor?
No, well, no, actually, it's no, actually, it's a part-time job. Takes
Right,
a full-time effort, but I
right.
since I am a retired colonel and I have my VA, actually, I have my retirement and my VA disability as well, and I have to admit, I'm a seasoned guy, so I am old enough to receive my Social Security. Besides, but hopefully the federal government won't mess that up,
Right.
right? But so I'm able to spend time not only in City Hall, but spend time in the community, visiting people, businesses, schools, and nonprofits. I'm able to spend the time to do that in between just my personal life, doing whatever my personal
Right.
life is. So I'm
Because you
able
don't have to work another
time
full-time
job,
job,
right? And
right.
I'm comfortable in
Mhm.
that aspect as well. So yeah, so
Absolutely. And, the city of Stockbridge has it's had a lot of growth in the
yes.
past several years. Henry County, you know, number 6 in the country is fastest growing in the entire country as far as the county. What do you think has attributed to why there has been so much growth in that area?
Well, I'll tell you what I personally think is that it deals with economic growth in the entire state itself. The state of Georgia is constantly growing. A lot of different businesses are coming here, international businesses, and then you look at the movie industry, and this aspect how it's growing through the state itself, and here in the Atlanta metro area. And I think people come here for economic reasons, and the dollar goes a little further here than it does in certain parts of the country. There's opportunities there, and by chance, it just so happens that mine dealt with the fact that Uncle Sam, the military, sent me here, and I decided to settle down. Like I said, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. My wife's from South Bend, Indiana. We have no intention of going back to the Midwest to deal with cold weather and snow and
Right.
ice in the winter months. In that
It's
aspect,
it's definitely cold.
right, right. It can be, so we have no intention on doing that, and just the amount of growth and opportunities that are here, and then of course, and what also helped us to settle down in Henry County dealt with the new home constructions, new home construction in a sense, and the growth many years ago, and it's still going on now, and the fact that the public school system was excellent for my one and only child. I have a daughter. Was now actually today, believe it or not, is her birthday. Her 29th birthday is
Oh,
today.
wow.
After actually, so in that aspect, so that's what has done it, and I'm glad to be living here and be part of the city government and moving on several things that we've happened trying to grow the city and make it an economic head and tourism and of course. And a lot of people may not know, of course, that the Stockbridge is the ancestral home of the King family. You
Right.
see, so when you think about the King family, Martin Luther King Senior or Junior, you think about Atlanta, which is fine. We live in Atlanta metro area, or you think about the civil rights movement, that's fine as well. But it all has roots right here in Stockbridge, so I feel extremely proud about that by also being the first African American mayor of the city. So
Yeah, and I think that's very key. Have we been able to really, bridge that gap and connect, um, bring the King family in even more in the fold. It was so interesting because I just heard um, Elder Dr. Bernice King this morning, um, as I was getting out of the vehicle. How have we been able to bridge that gap with Stockbridge, be as that is the ancestral home of the King family?
Well, what it amounts to, they have the King family and Dr. Bernice King has been here several times for dedication that we had several years or so ago in reference to. We actually have a bronze plaque that is outside our city council chambers dedicated to the King family, historical aspect. We also have Floyd Chapel Baptist Church where Daddy King, Martin Luther King Sr., actually gave his first sermon at age 15. We have a historical plaque right outside that church, could still exist to this day. The main street that we have in downtown Stockbridge is called Martin Luther King Sr. Heritage Trail. Goes right through the middle of Stockbridge, you see. So we've honored the King family in that aspect as well. And then, of course, members of the King family and entourage there and the staff have been to our amphitheater for several different concerts over the course of the last 4 years as well. So we acknowledge them, and we want to continue to grow the city and attract tourism here. And then, of course, as we get additional individuals coming and visit Stockbridge for all the things we have going on, we'll continue to emphasize the legacy of the King family and the ancestral home of the King family. And those points of interest, whether it's Floyd Chapel Baptist Church or even outside our council chambers, we'll educate and let people understand and read those particular plaques and recognition of the family itself and spread the knowledge.
You brought up the amphitheater.
Yes.
So you're running again for re-election.
Right.
Would you say that amphitheater is one of your biggest achievements?
I would say so in a sense. A couple of things. I'm glad you asked the question because when I retired 15 years ago, and people need to understand that since I was full-time in the military, anybody that's full-time in the military for any rank structure, you cannot serve in a capacity as a municipal elected official or state elected official or on federal federal level if you're full-time in the military. If you happen to be a part-time soldier or guardsman, like an Army Reserves or guardsman, things of that nature, you can do that because part-time, but full-time you cannot. So I've not had the opportunity to serve in this capacity until I retired 15 years ago. And the reason why I bring that up is that when I first retired, I was a member of a Liberal Centers Initiative committee right here in Stockbridge, where a bunch of citizens, myself and other citizens, got involved in what we wanted to do to see the redevelopment process of a downtown area. And so the first phase of that was establishing an amphitheater. So when we had our grand opening in September of 2021, little did I know, when I retired in 2010, that I would actually be the mayor of the city, part of as a citizen, part of the LCI committee, working on this. But little did I know at that time that I would be a mayor of the city when we actually dedicated and had a grand opening ribbon cutting for our amphitheater in September 2021. Actually, the entertainment was Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle. Awesome musical divas, had beautiful voices, and it was a sellout concert. But I had no idea that I would be in this capacity. And that, to me, is just a testament to the good Lord. I mean, I had no idea. I honestly didn't. I did not know this was going to happen, And so, but I would say yes, because of that aspect as a citizen, and then, of course, as being an elected official and seeing this whole process come to develop. Yes, I feel that it's part of my legacy in this aspect. And and believe it or not, in H.J. Russell and Company, located right here in Henry County.
Yeah,
right here in Atlanta Metro. I'm sorry. They're the ones that built it for us. They won the bid and built it for us. And TSW were the architects. And this is our fourth full season. And guess what happened last month in August? We paid it off in 4 years. $22.5 million.
Congratulations. 22.5 in 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years we paid it off. So now we just have to maintain it, like you just have to maintain your house, your car, your body. You just have to maintain it. See, so we actually paid it off.
So congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
We actually had the ability to have one of the she was actually chief counsel for H.J. Russell for this season of Women Live TV as a guest. So that legacy is deep, and just to be able to have H.J. Russell part of what's happening in Stockbridge is definitely a great thing. So 22.5 in 4 years.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, most people take 30 years to pay off $300,000 on a house.
Well,
How
well,
how
how
were
do we
you
how
guys
do we able to do
able
that?
to make
I knew that.
that
I
happen?
knew that was coming. Easy. What happened was it dealt with SPLOST money,
Mm,
SPLOST funds, which everybody participates in when the citizens pass the SPLOST bill, and so citizens here, individuals coming through the county, help pay off this aspect. SPLOST funds, a low interest bond at 1.3%, I think at the time it was, and then we use some fund balance to take care of this. And we had a great financial advisor that talked to us about this, and we bought into the plan, and we succeeded. And so,
that's good.
it's a participation for all in a sense when doing this, dealing with folks coming in and out of the county and for individuals
And
here.
when you
So
say in and out of the county, just so we're clear, so that means, you know, when people come and spend their
that's
dollars,
correct. Yes, that's what I meant.
when
Yes.
you're attracting individuals off of 75, whether they're coming from Macon or Florida and they're coming into the city, that helps to contribute to the
Yeah.
tax base.
Yes, it does. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you for the explanation. That's what I meant by that.
Well,
Uh,
I know you know the
I'm
explanation,
sorry.
but for the general
Probably
public
right. I'm
that
sorry. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for
Mhm.
the clarification.
Right.
Right. Exactly right. When it's come off the highway and spend money in restaurants and or gas stations or hotel stays and things of that nature, it's all part of the SPLOST piece and contributing to the fund and to pay off the amphitheater. So that's how it happened.
Yeah, because the city of Stockbridge had not had a property tax
Um,
since the
Well,
70s.
we actually thank you for that, but actually, what it is that we started property tax. We're in our third year. Put it that way. Third year,
Mhm.
our property tax now, our millage is 3.77. It
That's
is.
really
It
low.
has been the same. It's 3.77 now. We approved that this past couple months. Well, let's see. This is 2 months ago, and so, but it's been 3.77 for the last 2 years. Prior to that, we didn't have a city property tax,
Right.
but we have one now, so it hasn't changed. So otherwise, in that aspect, the taxes have not gone up. As a matter of fact, we've actually given tax relief to the citizens
Mm,
because this past year we offered homestead exemption. And so otherwise, if you were 62 or older, you would have $15,000 additional tax relief.
right.
If you're a homeowner, that's additional $10,000 dollars tax relief. And if you happen to have a septic tank, which is awfully rare, not many people have that, that's also $10,000 tax relief. Now, if you add all those up, that's $35,000, but we max it out at $25,000. So you can't get
Mm,
relief from all three categories, only a 2 to 3 when
right.
you max out. And if you didn't participate or the citizens did not take advantage of that this year, we will offer that again for citizens who haven't participated, right? You can apply for this again starting 1 January to 31 March of 2026. So we're
Mm,
opening that up again for any individuals that would want to apply for additional tax relief. And what I just mentioned earlier was apply. And then
yeah.
that way we're looking out for the citizens in that aspect as well, besides maintaining, once again, 3.77 millage rate. And then we have a police department, which the police department is pretty expensive, but the millage rate for the police department also is built into that 3.77 for the police department. I think it's 1.8 millage, and it's built into the 3.77 as well.
So you brought up the police force. Now, that's also part of your legacy as mayor,
Well,
correct?
yes, I would say yes. Thank you for that. Absolutely, the police force has been in existence for 3 years, but yet, as I was as a council member many years or so ago, myself and a couple other council members were establishing a committee, had a part of the committee to look into having our own police department. Nothing wrong with Henry County Police, but we in a sense we wanted our own police department and set our own destiny on things. And so we actually have our own police department now, roughly 67 officers, sworn officers, and I think about another 16 civilians that work in the police department. And we converted the Henry County North Precinct office into our own Stockbridge Police Department. So we've been in there for roughly 3 years now, in that aspect. And we actually have a satellite station. We're going to have a satellite station, believe it or not, that's at Bridges of Jodico, right next to Sprouts, and it'll be operational probably sometime between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Be fully operational, and that is going to Bridges of Jodico simply because that mixed use development is growing. A lot of things are happening there, and so we want to make sure that when folks come to shop at Costco's or Sprouts or Hacienda or Chick-fil-A, or they're living in a condo, a townhome, or a single-family home in that area, that our police officers will be able to respond to anything that may occur. We want to make sure we keep our citizens safe and protected. So,
And so let me just say this. What people have to understand, I always, coming from a military family as well, which my mom and Mayor Ford did serve together.
Yeah, we did overseas. That's right. And let me clarify that we're in the same unit, but she never worked specifically for me. But we're in the same unit, so she wasn't. Okay, I just want to say that. Okay.
Yeah. And so I always am big about safety first.
Right.
So it just makes sense as you're growing to make sure you have the ability to protect your citizens. So yeah, I definitely applaud having our own police force. And then you mentioned the Bridges of Jodico, which is one of the major developments that's happening in the city of Stockbridge. The first two-tiered Chick-fil-A.
Oh man, absolutely. In the history of the country.
In the country.
Right.
Right in Stockbridge.
Yeah, so that blew my mind too when that occurred. And I don't know if there are any other two-story Chick-fil-A.
Not yet.
But that blew my mind on that whole concept, because what it amounts to, the second floor is strictly the kitchen area. The first floor would do how they deliver the food to you using conveyor belts and some type of delivery system. There's no sit down in the restaurant at all, and so
no, they got sit down outside now.
Outside now, but not inside. No sit down inside. Outside now. And that just happened probably just a few months ago on that aspect. But yeah, that whole concept just blew my mind. It's fantastic, and I mean that was great when we did a ribbon cutting and grand opening for that. When we did the Sprouts grand opening ribbon cutting for that in November.
That's the next one. So we have the number one Sprouts in the entire Atlanta metro. How does that feel, Mayor?
Outstanding, but let me expand a little further. It's number one in the entire southeast part of the country.
Oh, wow. Southeast
part of the country, number one. And folks really love that as well. I mean, things are happening. And then, of course, we have Costco, which is the most southern Costco in the Atlanta metro area as well right now.
Right.
And it's fantastic. Now, I have to say this, since we're talking about this, when people look up these businesses, it says Madonna. It says Madonna. But you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, Ariel, you got to know, you know this.
Yes.
It's actually within the city limits of Stockbridge.
Right.
It's inside city limits of Stockbridge. It deals with the mailing address. So I have to, every time we go out there for a ribbon cutting and grand opening, I have to stress that. You look it up, it says Madonna, but you're really inside of Stockbridge.
Right.
Guaranteed. I mean, I'm really pleased about that, and potential growth that we continue to go. Other businesses are coming in, and different type of housing options are coming in, entertainment and restaurants. So we've got a couple White Table Club restaurants are scheduled to come, as well as a hotel. So as time goes on, it's great.
Well, you got a couple hotels coming.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Well, let me say this. I was, because there's so many things happening in the city, and to the point where everybody wants to come to the city. And I think that's a good thing. And it's not a threat to the city of Atlanta or any other city. The city of Atlanta is the city of Atlanta. But there is something to be said about the suburbs.
Absolutely.
We come into the city when we need to, but there's a benefit to being able to go to get entertainment, to go to get fine dining, 10 minutes away from your own home. We'll always continue to support and, do things in the city of Atlanta. But I have to say, the city of Stockbridge, we're making our own Buckhead of the South.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's really the intent on not only my vision, but the rest of the legislative body's vision as well, to do what we can for our citizenry right here in the South Metro area. And so you have options here. You don't necessarily have to go to Atlanta if you don't want to. But we want to make it close by, the entertainment, the tourism, the restaurants, the hotels, things of this nature, things that the live, work, and play concept, have it right here locally in this aspect. So that's where we're going with this. And as we continue to grow and expand, you'll see the changes. And I will tell you, I have a younger sister that lives in Roswell, North Fulton County.
She's jealous now, right?
Well, it's not really her, it's her husband. My sister knows better to be like that with me, but it's her husband that gets on my nerves about this. He originally, when I moved here, he said, Tony, you don't want to go on the South Side. They treat you like redheaded stepkids or something. I said, listen. So now every time I talk to him or we get together for a family holiday or whatever the case may be, I poke him and say, listen, we got things going on the South Side. You moved to the wrong place. You need to come on down here on the South Side. We got it going on.
Listen, we're all in this together in the Atlanta metro region. But I will say this. I was talking to one of, a state partner, economic partner, and they were just like, it's such amazing things happening in the city of Stockbridge. You've had a lot of celebrity golf activations, NFL events that are happening, connected that are happening in the city. So not just even the development, but just things for people to do. I think that's a plus. So as you go and seek your second term as mayor, what's your goal?
Well, the goal is to continue to expand and grow and work alongside with the legislative body and listen to the citizens on as we continue to move forward because we represent them and continue to grow and expand, continue to redevelop our downtown area, continue that process, continue to grow Bridges of Jodico, and in a sense to have different types of housing options so for individuals in the area and to look towards keeping the younger parts of our community as they come out of high school or college to stay in this particular area because they love what's going on and to raise their children locally as well.
Yeah.
I have a 29-year-old daughter as of today, believe it or not. And so, I want her to, as we continue to live in Henry County, I want her to stay somewhat close by and to her mother and father, but also feel comfortable in her job opportunities and the living and to be comfortable here in this immediate area and that she feels good about all the opportunities she has to grow and expand.
Yeah, that keeping the younger generation is always going to be a challenge.
Right.
But for the most part, that's typically based off housing and, job opportunities. So what else do you want to leave for the audience?
Well,
how do they reach out to you?
Well, it's not that hard to find me, without doubt. I tell people all the time, it's just I'm not hiding, and I'm accessible. And you can always get a hold of me by calling the City Hall or in this aspect as well. But you can always call me directly if you want. That's 678-215-6142 is my direct number. If you go to the website, you'll see the number and the email address on our Stockbridge website. And I would tell you, since I am up for re-election, you can go to www.mayoranthonyford.com for any type of updates in reference to the campaign, and you can volunteer your time and or services or even help with the campaign and donations if that's the case. But I guess my point is I look forward to another 4 years with the citizens' input and their approval, and I will continue to work with the legislative body, listen to the citizenry in reference to the constituents and what you want done and how you want to go forward. I look forward to continue to serve you and continue to grow.
And so your platform, what is it for? Is it continuing to change? What's the actual platform going into?
Well, it's continue to change in the growth aspect and continue to try to work the best we can to make things make folks more comfortable about the live, work, and play concept, that you feel complete and you feel happy and blessed to be in the Stockbridge city and in a surrounding area, and things are going well for you. And in this aspect, to continue that whole process. And because we are growing, and like I said, we're about 36,000 now. We're continuing this growth process, and I have to say we're about 66% African American, by the way, too. Just got to let you know we're diverse, but I just want to mention that to you in this aspect. But the point of it is that I serve all people, whether you actually voted for me or not. But that's part of the whole process, and all people of all ethnicities as well. And we just want to have an open mind, keep moving, and keep growing.
And what's coming up that we need to let people know about in the city?
Well,
a lot.
You got growth and, of course, continued growth of Bridges of Jodico.
Right.
When you get on Highway 75 in between Hudson Bridge and all the way down to Jonesboro Road, you see that there's some construction going on. It's called a Western Parallel.
Right.
Now that actually that goes through City of Stockbridge and county area as well, but that's going to help relieve the traffic off of the Highway 75 for one thing. But number two is that allow for further growth along that western parallel as time goes on as well. So that'll be different types of commercial businesses, home housing options are coming up as we finish that. The other thing I'll tell you that's indirectly affects Stockbridge and Henry County areas. There's two major things. One, we have a STEM school from the Henry County Public Schools.
Oh my goodness! How did we not mention that first?
Right. The STEM school, you got the STEM school coming up, and I believe they'll be operational fully in
2027.
Yeah, August 2027. Yep. And it's the most southern part of the downtown Stockbridge area.
This is the first STEM school in the entire county. $74 million. Paid for by East Bloss.
Right.
And, you and I both have had the pleasure of serving on the STEM advisory committee.
That's correct.
And those that know me, I'm an advocate for STEM and making sure our kids have, exposure and opportunity, because as your brother-in-law would tell you, it's a lot of things, especially for the kids further north. So to have that in your city, literally across the street from City Hall, what does that mean?
Oh, it means a whole lot, because it's right across down the street from City Hall, right next to Stockbridge Elementary School. It's right across the street from our police station, our courthouse. It brings the downtown area and our little hub there all together as one. So it's really fantastic that the school board chose to keep it right, put it right there.
Right.
Obviously, I'm really pleased that it's inside city limits of Stockbridge. And the other thing I want to mention is the fact that Piedmont Henry, it's also inside city limits of Stockbridge as well, the major hospital that
they're expanding.
And they're expanding as well. You see, so, indirectly, I'm very pleased about the fact that it's not only in Stockbridge city limits, but of course in Henry County, and have both these particular elements of service and all the citizenry, the children and citizenry, and the health care for our citizens in the area. It's fantastic that they can. They do have an official Stockbridge address, by the way.
Absolutely. Right.
So I'm pleased about that, and just the fact that we're planning for the future and growth, and always looking forward to the additional housing options to try to make it as affordable as possible for individuals that want to retain and stay in the area itself.
Right. Absolutely. What else do you want to share, Mayor?
Well, I just everybody just keep the faith and with what's happening as we continue to move forward. And we do have a particular tagline, and tagline is Stockbridge is where community connect.
Right.
You see, so we utilize that tagline. I use it all the time, of course, but we want to be able to connect with our community, with our citizenry, the constituents there, and have an open mind and open ear to listen and try to move forward and do the best we can to serve our public and
Absolutely.
continue to grow. And we got things happening, and the South Side has something to say.
Now I like that.
Check that out. I didn't come up with that original line, but I had to use it, right?
The South Side has something to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I think we're leading the way when it comes to Stockbridge. I think you've done an amazing job, Mayor Ford, in leading from the legislative side, and I think at this point we only have to go up, continue the momentum, continue what has already started. And, it's not always just about growth, because you always want to make sure, you're taking care of what's already been there as well. But I think when we have individuals who have moved to the South Side for one, the cost of housing, because technically we're pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, people are still saying, "Oh, you got to have," and I know there's still a need for probably more workforce housing, especially as the economy has gone up. But when you compare our homes to a Gwinnett,
right?
Like we're winning in that area.
We're reasonable.
We're very reasonable.
We're reasonable, absolutely.
We're very reasonable. So you have individuals that have moved there for that particular reason, but they also still desire the ability to, again, have that live, work, and play. And I think we've done an amazing job with that.
I appreciate that. And it's constantly it's a group effort. As you well know, I don't do it by myself. I have a
Right.
legislative body, and there's a lot of stakeholders involved in and around the community that we have to work together. And we have this concept called One Henry. So I got to continue to have positive dialogue and work with the county government as well as our sister cities, 3 other sister cities in Henry County and just the region. To keep moving and try to do some great things. And
how important is that to be able to work with all three sister cities?
Oh, it's important. It's important because we all live in the same general area. I mean,
Yeah.
and so now it's important to have good dialogue. I mean, because we're dealing with a lot of similar things, I guess you may say, to a certain degree. Now, granted, Stockbridge is still the largest city at this point, and you got this county seat was Madonna. In reference to population, it might be a few 2,000 or 3,000 less, I guess you may say. But then, of course, the Hampton locals grow a little smaller, but yet in population that is. But yet we all have some uniqueness. But then again, we have a lot of things that are really the same, and we just got to work together and try to be progressive and aggressive for our citizens as well. So it's always good to have a good dialogue. And of course, we all live in Henry County, so we need to have a good dialogue with our county as well on a continual basis. Have joint projects, like a lot of joint transportation infrastructure projects.
Right.
When it comes to transportation and infrastructure. And I mentioned earlier about the Western Parallel, which goes through both the county and the city of Stockbridge. And there's other transportation or infrastructure projects that we agreed with the county, such as the Rock Quarry Road expanding. That matter of fact, it's starting to expand now because the trees are coming down in Eagles Landing Parkway and just different types of road structures that we need to do. As we grow, we have to expand the infrastructure as well. So we all can't. One city can't do it all by itself, and the county can't do it all by themselves either. So we got to work together for the betterment of our citizens.
So I'd be remiss if I don't mention or allow you to mention that you're also an Alpha man.
Yeah, I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Yeah, 48 years. Go ahead.
Can you talk a little bit about why you chose that particular fraternity and how they have played a role in your leadership and?
Well, absolutely, because as I was growing, once again, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and so as I was growing up and getting to go to college, in a sense, I was attracted to the Alpha men I met and the fact of their leadership capabilities, the fact that they dealt with academic issues and concerns and education, and I was just attracted to that. I was inducted into the National Honor Society in my junior year in high school. I had several different academic scholarships besides the ROTC scholarship, which I took almost anywhere in the country, but I stayed locally within the state. And that's another sidebar conversation. It has to deal with my dear mother, who's 93 right now as well.
Oh wow, your parents still alive?
My mother is. My father's not.
Wow.
My mother's still alive. Yeah, she's 93. My father passed away 6 years ago at 95. So he lived a long life as well. Which goes to show, as a little sidebar, is the fact I'm going to be around for a while. God living, worthwhile. God continue to bless me in a sense because it's in the genes. But yes, so what it amounts to, I stay locally within the state. But the fact that of being somewhat being educated and looking at leadership and studying and learning really attracted me to the frat at that time, and so that's what I chose. And then of course, as I went through the initiation process, they chose me as well, so it worked out well. So that's great in this aspect. So, and I really feel proud, especially now. I mean, once again, it's a blessing of the good Lord by being the first African American mayor of Stockbridge and having an ancestral home, which is one of the most famous fraternity brothers. When it comes to Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., right? So I mean,
he was also an Alpha man.
Also Alpha, right? So how else can you? I mean, geez, it just came in line. I mean,
it all came full circle,
right? So I was like, geez,
right.
But thank you for asking. I appreciate that. But nothing against the rest of the Divine Nine.
Absolutely,
they have their own desires and reasons why. But the old gold and black were for me, and so
right,
it's all good.
Right.
Thank you.
And you guys, are y'all doing any community projects in the city of Stockbridge?
With the fraternity brother?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. We got some things going on. We have a couple things going on dealing with HBCUs and some educational aspect at my church, which is Wesley Chapel, and believe it or not, it's in Madonna United Methodist Church. I have some of my frat brothers there that are leading that charge with the church and with the chapter. There are other activities we got going on. I believe it's with Delta Sigma Theta as well, the chapter in Henry County as well. So we constantly have different types of programs that we do. We have Alpha Esquires. We have a mentoring group with the young boys as well.
That's good.
Going on. So several things are going on, and they got to go on. See, the thing about it is, that you brought this up, I can never make it to an actual monthly meeting with my frat brothers because the same night as the council meetings.
Oh, wow.
So I have to be at the council
Why
meeting.
Why are they not having meetings on Sundays when the sororities have their...
No. Well, I mean, but the brothers know, they know where my heart and my mind is. And I'm active. I'm active, financially active, active. So whenever there are other things outside of those meetings, I'm always participating with the brothers as best I can. So they know that and they understand that.
Right.
I'm active nationally as well as with the chapter, but it's just I never make the meetings because it conflicts with council meetings. I have to conduct my council, and they clearly understand that.
Right.
So it's all good.
Well, that's amazing, and I look forward to seeing more community projects in our city as well with your brothers.
So we're pretty. That's what I think we're about in our chapter now. I think we're about 90 plus brothers that are active in the chapter right now.
All right.
And there's, I mean, I don't want to go down a low list, but we got a lot of prominent, well-educated brothers that
Absolutely.
that are in the chapter.
Absolutely. Well, Mayor Ford, it has been an absolute pleasure having you,
thank you, Ariel,
on our global podcast.
Thank you very much.
We had the opportunity to be top 25 most globally shared podcasts a couple of years ago. We look forward to continuing that trajectory, and we are available everywhere from Apple to Spotify to iHeart to everywhere. What do you want to leave with the listening audience?
Well, I just keep the faith when it comes to the city of Stockbridge. Just keep the faith and believe in what we're doing. We're trying to do the best we can with what we have and make good improvements and growth and transparency. So I just want folks to believe in us and be patient as we continue to move forward. And we've got to have a listening ear to listen to you all and try to make the right decisions. And so just believe in us as a collective group, believe in me as an individual, and I need your support continually as well as we do for the entire city itself. And I'll let you know I have no intention of going anywhere. No matter what happens, I have no intention. I'm planning to live in this area the rest of my given days. So, this, I'm a man of faith. So I know the good Lord is going to lead me down the right path in this aspect. So we'll continue to live and work and work out things together.
Again, tell everybody what's your website.
Website for me is www.mayoranthonyford.com. I really appreciate you go to the website. You can volunteer your time and or donations toward the campaign or see what any updates that are going on with the campaign. Really appreciate your support. And it's not a hard, hey, listen, I'm not hiding. You can reach out to me at any time. I'm available. I'm accessible. So, okay, I appreciate you, Ariel, and thank you, folks. God bless you all. I appreciate your effort to keep me in office. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mayor Ford.
Thank you, Ariel. Appreciate you. God bless you.
All right.
This has been another episode of Women, Wealth, and Entrepreneurship Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, I am Ariel Shaw, your host of Women, Wealth, and Entrepreneurship. And again, our media participants include Sylvia Dennis Ray of Sylvia the Advocate, Micah Johnson of the Micah Johnson State Farm Agency, Shamika Davis of JTS Vacations LLC, and Laquita Brooks of The Motivational Maven. Thank you again for joining us. I hope you had an amazing experience.